Oops, it's not going. Hello, yeah, hello. Yeah, I don't know why it's been set off. I'm so sorry, guys, for this interruption, right? Interruption. So so technically, I think my voice was not audible. So let me very quickly explain you what I'm talking about today. We are going to create a user, going to modify the user, delete the user, and do a lot of things today. So today's topic is about user management or the user administration. Okay, that's what we are going to do today. And I am discussing about if you want to log in to the operating system, you require username and the password. And if you want to create a user, right, this is the command we used. Okay, this is the command we use for logging to the system, right? So let me log in with a root account again. Okay, so if you want to create a new user, the command is called Useradd, and if you want to set the password of this user, the command is passwd. So till now we have discussed that part only. So nothing we have missed actually. If you haven't listened my voice, but only thing is not that part of this training. If you go to advanced training, but in the Red Hat Linux system, okay, the program who will ask your OS that without login, I don't want any user can log in. I don't want anybody can use your operating system. That program is called PAM. So PAM is from advanced security, right? PAM is pluggable authentication module. Is one program, one module in your Red Hat operating system. It is the one who will decide, right, that do we have to ask the login and password or not. And if you ask the password, we have to ask the normal password, we have to ask the OTP or other things, all the things you can do with the PAM, maybe thumbprint also, right, scan also, we can do it. So PAM is not the topic of this training. Just I want to tell you this is the program internally working behind the scene. Working behind the scene, right? So it is working like this. Okay. So it is working like this, right? So let's continue with the next part. Today's topic, guys, is about Useradd. So in the Red Hat, so guys, if you my voice was mute from last 10 to 15 minutes, but and we haven't missed anything. The main topic I am going to start now. So topic is about Useradd. So if you want to create a user and do anything in the user, or a user is also known as account in any other operating system, right, then we have a command called Useradd. Okay, so Useradd is a one program through which we can do multiple things. But technically Useradd is a program means it is a command or a program. Okay, and I told you guys, if any program and command if you run, and they will do something for you, and that whatever they do, if they are doing it permanent or the persistent. For example, right now I create one user called Eric. This user I created is a permanent, right? Right, it won't delete. After I reboot, it will be there. So whatever, guys, you do from a command and program, and it is permanent, so it will always store somewhere in your hard disk in the storage. It means whenever you create a user, the information of the user is stored in a hard disk. And guys, whenever you store anything in the hard disk as a data or as a information, it always store in a file. Always store in the file. Okay, so typically what I'm going to tell you guys here, when you run a command called Useradd or a program called Useradd, they update the information of the user in a file. It means if you know the name of the file, location of the file, syntax of the file, then you don't require a program. right? Means without that time, after having that much knowledge or internal knowledge, without using the program, without using a command, you can create your thing whatever you want to do. So my plan, guys, today is to tell you internally how the user had work. Even though if you want to create a user, the command is pretty simple. There is no big deal. One command, that's all. Your new account created and password has been set. but but if you want to go deep dive, and let's say take a scenario, let's say you don't have the command and you want to create a new user, or let's say this command corrupt, or maybe this might be something this command might not work for you, might not do for you, but I have to do some customers thing, right? So this in any of this concept, right, if you know what is happening behind the scene, where the information is storing, and and which location they are storing, we can do the things. So that's what, guys, the main topic for today is. So today topic is about user management. Means we are going to create a user, but not only create a user, we have to go deep dive internally in some internal files, or you can say some internal configuration files, and there we go, and and there we go, and do some customization according to requirement. So guys, whenever you run the user add command, okay, internally they update, right, in 8 to 9 different locations, right? So it's not a simple program. When you create a user, tons of files they update, tons of folders they update, a lot of locations. Location means a lot of folders they update, a lot of files they update, a lot of data they update. So around 8 to 9 locations, right, a user add command update. And if you know about all the location in detail, right, you can say that you are conceptually strong in the user management in Red Hat version 8. Or you can say you can do any customization in the user world in the Red Hat system. So that's what, guys, we are going to discuss today. So my plan is, guys, when you create a user, let me create one more user here. So when you create a user and let's say I'm going to create a user called user 10. Just by running this command, right, this command do a lot of changes in your operating system. First change they do in a file called etc pass wd file. Okay, so almost, guys, whenever you create a user, right, the information of this user plus some extra thing about this user, they update in this file. So this is one of the main file where a user update the information. You can think this is the database for the user. So all the user whatever you have till now, they update in this file. So let me first share this location in this file. So if you see here, if I hit enter, there is a lot of information here. Okay, right now maybe it look like very very Greek, or maybe very encoded for you, but in some minute you guys will be very much comfortable about these information, right? So right now if you see, recently I have created one user called user 10. It is here. Recently I created a user called Eric. It is here. Even though if you go up till now, we are keep on logging with the account called root. It is also here. So all the account or the user in your operating system in your Red Hat will be reside in this file. So this is you can think this is the database of the user. So whenever user add command run, it create a user. Internally they update the information in this file. It means it means if you don't want to create a user with the user add command, and without using the command or without using the program, and you want to do something in your system, you can go inside this kind of files. So I can go inside this file and I add one line here. After adding the one line, the system will think that one more new user created in your system. Before this, you should know the meaning of these lines. So I will explain you the meaning of this line in a minute. So this is one of the file we have. Okay, likewise we have other files also. We have, that's what I'm talking about. There's around 8 to 9 different files and the folders where or some other location where user add update the information about a user. So one of the file where the update, and there's a very very critical file, is called /etc pass wd. For example, there's one more file here, right? It's called etc shadow file. So if you again open this particular file also, that's called etc shadow file. So what you can see, again same user information over here. Again you can see it, the user called array, you can see user called 10. This file also contains lots of information. I'm going to discuss everything in this training all the time. What is 999, what is 7, very very powerful thing, very very conceptual thing. And we use this concept a lot in the real Linux servers, right? Okay, likewise there are tons more, a lot of more files we have where they update the information about the user. Okay, and this file is mainly for the password. So in this file we store the password. If you see here, this is the one of the password we have. So I will discuss guys about this point, which what kind of password it is and other things, right? So the main topic guys today that I would like to start is about user add. But in the user add guys is one single command, there's nothing special. The special about the user add command is these files. So I would like to start one by one, right? So 8 or 9 location we have, almost all the major location wherever user add update the thing we will discuss. So first file, right, where user add update the thing is this one. I would like to start my topic for today from this file. So it take around one day actually to understand this file. So a lot of thing is there in this file. So I require one complete class to explain you in detail what is there in this file. Okay, so today's topic guys is not actually only purely on user add. Today's topic is on the file called etc pass wd. So this is what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so again very simply, whenever you run a user add command, is a command, it create a new user or new account. In Linux it is known as user, and this user information, right? Because obviously how your OS come to know how many user we have, how OS will check the login and password. So whenever you log in whenever you log in to your operating system, right, with any of the account, okay, the your system or your login program always go to the file called passwd. And if they find the user is there or the user information is there, they believe user exists and they log in. But they don't find any information over there, right? Then they think that user is not exist. That is a reason that is a reason whenever user add create a new user, this new user information they update in this file, because your operating system, Red Hat operating system, always take the login and password by default from this file only. Okay, and that is a reason that is a reason right now if I try to log in with the Eric account, I can log in. Okay, but if I remove this entry from this file, let me again log in with a root account. So how my OS come to know Eric user exists? Because of this file. But if I remove the entry from this file of the Eric user, either you remove or you can comment, right? Okay, let me remove. One minute. Okay, let me remove. Even though we have created this user, okay, but I manually go to this file, I remove this entry. So according to my operating system, they feel this user is not yet exist. We don't know anything about Eric. And now in this case, if I again try to log in with the Eric user, all right, Eric user with the same password, right? They say I don't know about this user, so how can I log in? Now this time it's fail. It's not working. It's incorrect. Okay, because the user does not exist here. So technically what I'm trying to tell you guys over here is right, this file is very critical. Even though if you go and remove the entry of the root user right, from this file, you won't able to log in with root user also. So whenever you log in with root user, right, they will check this line. But I suggest guys, don't remove it. If you remove this line, you will stuck. Your system will logged. Why? I will explain in some time. Okay. But here my intention is to tell you, right? Whenever you log in your operating system, either using GUI, either using CLI, either using SSH, whatever way you use to log in this OS always check the login and password from this file by default. Why I say by default? Because we have a way to change. There's some console available in the macro called LDAP. You can also ask my OS to log in from there. But by default, they always check the login and password from this file, or you can say this file is a local database for my user. Okay, so that's the reason, guys. I would like to explain the syntax of this file in detail. So if you talk about this particular file, very critical. If the file removed, your system will logged. You can't able to log into any of the user. So in this file, we have 7 different fields. Okay, the first field in the file is the name of the user. It's called username. Then colon. So if you see, guys, what I mean by field here, if you open this file, the first field here is a name of the user, then colon, then second field, then colon, then third field. Likewise, it is the total. We have 7 field in this file, and all the field is separated by colon. So you can say colon is a is a field separator, also known as delimiter separator. So first field in this file is the name of the user. So in my case, the name is called user Tom123, user 10, Vimal. If you go on the top, it is called root. This is no username. Okay. Next field in this file is a password. So whenever, guys, you create a password, it is stored the password over here. Okay. So this is a field password. But right now, guys, if you see here, the password of root is X. Even though if you go to any of the username, right, the password is X. Okay, even though, let me create one more one more user. Let's say Jack1 is already there. Jack2, and I'm going to set the password Jack2. So whenever you create a user, information again update in this file in the local database. In case I come up here, and the password is X here. But guys, here, I haven't given the password X. I have given the wrong different password, but they write X here. So what do you mean by X here? Okay, so here X is actually a password, but this X is represented as a link. This is a link. So due to some security reason, right, we don't store the password in this file. Okay, so instead we store the password in this file. This X is a link to the different file. So we always store in a password in a file called etc shadow. etc shadow. So due to some security reason, we don't store the password in this file. And what is the security? The security is this one. For example, let me create one user called Jack2. I already there. Let me create one more user called Tom2. So every user, sorry, let me first create the user. Okay, and after create the user, let me set the password. So what I want, right? I want Tom2 is a different user, Jack2 is a different user, and obviously I don't want Tom can see my Jack password. Okay, but you know what, guys? If I try to log in with a Tom2, right? After Tom login, right? Any user has a power to read this file. Okay, so there's a concept called power or permission that will come up in upcoming class. But any user, whatever user exists in the system, they have a capability to go and read this file, and every user can read this file, so anybody can read any password. And this is the security reason why we don't want to keep a password in this file. Otherwise anybody can see the other password, so there's no meaning of creating the accounts, right? Anybody can log in other account and they can do some nasty or miscellaneous or some kind of malicious activity from there. So I don't want this. That is the reason this X is a link, and so whenever my OS come and come to this file, so anybody who log in, my OS come to this file and say, does this user exist? Yes. Do this password right? So this file say, no, I don't. I have the password field, but I have linked this password to other file. Just go to shadow file and check the password there. Okay, why? Because this file can be read by anybody. But if you talk about shadow file, okay, shadow file can't be read by anybody. Shadow file is so secure, nobody can read the shadow file. Okay, because it contain very sensitive data, it contain password. Okay, so nobody can read the shadow file. And before guys I continue with next part, I just want to tell you one thing. In your Linux operating system, or plus in any of the operating system, there's three different kind of users of the account. Three different kind of user of the account. One of the account is called general account. Okay, means a user that is a general with a limited power. They can't do much thing in the system. Very limited power they have. Power is also known as permissions or the privileges they have. This is called general account. And whenever you create any user with the user add command, are considered as a general user. So all the account that I created right now, right over here, over here with the user add command are known as or known as general user. The general user. Okay. Second account exists in any of the operating system called admin account. The account that has all the power, that has all the privileges or power or permissions, normally known as privileges, are known as admin account. Okay, and one only one admin account by default exists in your Linux operating system called root. Root is an admin account that has all the power. They can do anything and everything in the system. Okay, so whenever I say in this training that we have a limited power, I always consider general account. General account always have a limited power, a limited privileges. But a root has unlimited power. Root can do anything. Root say, I am the one who created your account, so I can delete your account also. So from the root account, you can go and see this file. But apart from the root account, nobody can open this file because you are logged in with a root account, and root has the unlimited power because root is the admin of the account, right? Okay, this is one thing. And third type of account in your system is, so first is general account, second is admin account, and third type of account is called service account or system account. So these are the account, right, that you can't log in. It is an internal account. Some of the servers use this account. For example, you guys know Apache server. So guys, whatever you do in the Apache server, they also use some user internally. You don't log into Apache server, but internally they use one account called Apache account. Those are known as service accounts. So if you open this file, password file, you can see there's some account available. Sorry, uh, here. If you see here, one account is there Apache. So when you install HTTPD software, this account automatically created for you. We don't log in with this account, even though if you go and check the setup file, there's no password available for the Apache account. Even though you set the password, there's no meaning to set the password also, right? So let me search Apache. So there's no password here. This is a field where we set the password. I'll tell you in some minute. Okay. So technically, there's a lot of account in the system. They are known as system account and the service account. So they work internally. So I have some example I will discuss in some minute. So they work internally. For example, there's one account called SA SSH. It's for some security account. There's one account for DNS mask. It's a DNS or DSCP server account. So there are a lot of account is there internal in system. They won't log in, but internally they work for you. There's one account for mail. They will help you in the mailing. Okay. So technically, if you want to log in the system as a human being or as a user, so either you use a general account or you use a root account. But if you use a root account, you will have unlimited power. You can do anything. If you have a general account, you have very limited power. you will have. What I mean by power? So there is one topic come up in upcoming class called privileges of permission. There I will discuss more about the power. There I'll show you that a general user won't have much power. They will do very limited thing in your system. I will show you that time. Okay, but technically there's three different kind of account. Okay, one is a general account, second is an admin account, third is a service account. Okay. So let's come to our main point. So in this pass wd file, there's a seven field. First is username, second password. It's always come to this file, right? And because x is a link, so they will send to setup file, and in the setup file what a password they have the check. And how can I confirm? Always come to password file. So what can I do? Right, for example, I have one user called tom2. So what I'm doing here, I remove the x here. Okay, so what happened, guys, now in my system now, when I log in with the tom2, let me save this file. When I log in from the tom2, right, my always internal login program come to this file, and they said, do you have tom2 user? I say yes. What is the password? So I remove the x. In this case, there is no link. In this case, they won't go to setup file. In this case, because there is no password, so without asking the password, I can log into tom2. So guys, if you see here, as soon as I hit enter, it log in. Okay, one minute, it should log in. Maybe in Reddit version 8 something they might change. One minute, what is happening? Tom 2. uh, I think it might be disabled in Red Hat version. What here, maybe I've checked already, I don't know. One minute, my file is saved or not. Let me check again. But this is the way it work. Let me check. So tom 2 is tom 2, right? Yeah. One minute. I don't know, guys. I think there's some setting they change. Maybe in the PAM they will change something in this version. But yeah, if you check any other version of Red Hat, it is the way it work. So it is the way it work. I don't know. It's not working. Because I tested already in Red Hat. Let me try one more thing with the root account also. Okay, this is a normal thing we always do in the real server sometime. Okay, so when we remove the x in the root account, right now if I'm trying to log in with the root account, okay, yeah, it's working, right? It's working. I don't know why this account didn't working, but yeah. So I just want to try to tell you that if you always whenever the login program, this is a login program, right? Behind the scene, there's one program is running behind the scene, right? So whenever you type any username, this internal login program take you to the pass wd file, and they say there's no x here. I don't have to go to setup file. Maybe password set, but I don't have to go to setup file. So without the password I can log in. So that's what it work here. Okay, it work here. But yeah, it's not good for security, but obvious. It's not good for security. So you can write x here and you can set the password and setup file. So in this file, this is second field you have. Okay, next field in this file is uid. Okay, if you notice, guys, one thing, I am just trying to explain you all the chunks, right? It's not about I am only explaining this fields, right? I'm also explaining you how the system operate internally, how the thing is linked together. All right, so that's what I'm explaining here. Okay, so next field is user id, uid. So guys, whenever you create a user, your system will all give a unique id for all the users, and actually system identify a user with the id. For example, right, system always give a root id called 0. Okay, so if you go here, you can see the next field is 0. Okay, and whenever you create a normal user or general user, they give one unique id. For example, if you see here 1016 115 something like this. Okay, and first user that I created my system with user id called Vimal, the id called 1000. Okay, so technically in the system, the ID range is reserved. So all the general user, right, the ID range is by default 1000 to 60,000. It's by default, we can change. This is the ID range for the general user. The ID for the root account or the admin account is 0, and all other range we reserved for a service account. So any account that ID is between 1 to 999, or 60,000 1 to 6,535. These range, any of the user having these range are by default known as system and service account. So guys, if you see here in this file, so any user having ID 0 is a root account. Any ID between 1 to 999, right? If you see here, this is the one account is a system account 999. This is one account called no a system account 6,034. Okay, for example, if you talk Apache, is again internal account, system account. That account has ID. If you search Apache 48. For all the account that is general account that you can log in, that you have created, all right, is called general account. So my first account that I created in my system is Vimal account that has ID 1000. And when you can create an account, new account, the system is keep on giving the new ID with a sequence, right? So last account I created is 1016. So when I create a new account, right, they will give the ID called most probably, let's just user 4. They must probably they give the ID called 1070. Okay, even though guys, after login, if you want to confirm which user you have login, so you can use who am I command. So I'm logging right now with root account, even though you can see in the command prompt, but sometimes in some of the command prompt the name doesn't come up. So you can use who am I command to confirm your name, or you can use ID command to check what is your ID. So from here you can check this user is created in my system having the ID equal 0, right? You can check the ID also with ID command. Okay, so so whenever guys you create a user, it create a unique ID for the user, and every user they provide a unique ID. So that is the use of this field. Okay, now this is the third field. Now we have one more field called next field called GID. It's called group ID. Okay, so before guys I explain you a group ID, I just want to tell you one thing. Even though it's not a part of this training at all, but a lot of guys don't have this knowledge. Very powerful concept I'm going to explain you. Very especially those guys who want to do something in security world. Maybe they can use or they can implement this idea. Okay, so you know what, guys? Very very powerful concept. You definitely like this concept. What am I going to explain you? It is something like this. If I tell you that every user, almost in every operating system, when you create system, will allocate one unique ID. That's called user ID. So technically, what can you figure out from this concept? Obviously, it's but obvious, right? My system want every user to give the unique ID. So what else you can figure out from this concept, right? So you know what, guys, you can think in this way. Okay, what the right meaning of this concept is, right meaning of this concept is according to the operating system. Okay, whenever any user log in, my always never see the username. They always check the ID. So whatever user will do, they will check the ID. For example, one is called Vimal. So my OS doesn't say, "Hey Vimal, you are doing." OS say, "I know your ID is 1000 and 1000 ID is doing the thing for us." So OS always see the ID. They never check the username. Username they have given for us. So as a human being, we can log in. We can easily remember the names. So what I'm trying to tell you here is very interesting concept is right. It means according to use operating system, the power of user is not in the name. Power of user is in their ID. It's a very powerful statement. I just want to tell you again one more time. Okay, the power of the user, what a user can do in the OS, is come from the ID. It's not from the name. It means a lot of guys say root is the admin of the Linux, right? Root can do anything in the Linux operating system. So this is not the perfect statement. The perfect statement is, right, because root is having the id 0 by default. The perfect statement is any user who have id 0, they can do anything in this operating system and they become the admin. So by chance a root user is having the id 0. So root not because of the name. Root is admin because of the name. Root is unlimited, has unlimited power because of their id. That is the right way to think. And if you really think in this way, what can we do? We can create one great products in the program, not product, I can say the program. Okay, for example, let me create one user called called Chris. Okay, and right now guys, if when you create a Chris user a Chris user, I'm setting the password of the Chris. Okay, Chris user. And if you log in from this user, because this user is a user with limited power, so you can use id command and check the id of the user in this way also. So this is a user, I can use option called have a u. So right now this user has an id called 1018. So system don't know who is Chris. System know there is one account called 1018, and any account that is not zero, it's a limited account. They can't do much thing in your system. It means if I log in with the Chris account, and Chris, because it is a limited account, right? It They don't have a power to open the file. Okay, any of the limited account or general account don't have a power to create new user. If you try to create new user here, you don't have power. Permission denied. You can't change other passwords, other account password. Only root can specify. So guys, it is a very myth in the Linux technological world, right? That only root can create a user, only root can install the software. Even though if you run the yum install command to install the software, you can see only root, last and see only root can do. So it's wrong myth. So it's a wrong myth means maximum guys think only root can do the things. But technically, this is not right statement. The right statement is the user who has zero ID can do the things. So let me show you one powerful demo here. So let's say you are a Chris, and let's say Chris is like a hacker, like a hacker. He think like a hacker. And guys, I told you hacker are genius guys. Or whatever thing exists, they always try to manipulate the things. So let's say Chris understood this concept that power is not from the name, power is from the ID. Let's Chris understand this concept. Now what Chris can do, right? Chris can create can create one program, one virus, let's say, one malicious script, let's say. Okay, so Chris are going to create one malicious script, and what that particular malicious script will do, it will go inside this file, sorry, in this file. Okay, and wherever you have id 1018, that script will change this id to 0. Okay, for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one script. Either you can create the script in Python, or I'm going to create a script in shell scripting. So I'm just going to create one virus, for example, virus, the one script I'm going to create. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a program that will go inside this file, and wherever they find number 1018, this number, where they find this number, they replace this number with 0. So in the Linux guys, we have one command that will have a capability to go inside the file and replace some word or some pattern. The command is called sed. It's called a string or stream editor. So you the sed, right? This will go inside the file, and wherever they find 1018, right, they will replace with 0. Okay, and I just tell this is string. Okay, and this syntax you have to use this syntax, right? So just go or check all the string. Whenever you find this string, replace with this guy. Okay, that's what this program will do. Okay, but this program will change temporarily. It will show you in the screen. I don't want they show you output in the screen. I want the update in this file. So I do write one option called happen I means they will update in this file. First thing, guys, just one single program, very simple line, very simple line. All right, your entire system can be hacked. So you can think in this way. This is your Linux server running with a very critical application in the real world. We have one account called root, we have one account called Chris, and everybody from their home working. So these are the one admin of the company working from the root account, and he's the one who know the root password, and Chris is the one who know the Chris password, and this is ID limited ID with a limit power. But if the Chris want to log in the system with unlimited power, there's two way: either they hack the root password, or hacking the passwords like take a lot of time maybe. So rather than they focusing on hacking the password, what Chris can do, he can try to change the ID of their own, because they know power is not on the name, power is not on the password, right? Power is on the ID. So that's what they create an account. So there's one single script, one simple script. I can see the entire scenario has been changed, right? So powerful thing, right? So just the Chris create the script, and somehow they run the script. So there's a command you can run the script. That's all, guys. And you know what? The complete server hack now. Chris, without knowing the root password, without logging the root account, Chris will log in from their account, from their password. Chris know, but after Chris log in from their account, you'll see what happened. Okay, till now, what I show you, Chris don't have the power. But now let me log out from here. Okay, and one minute. And let me log in Chris. And now see, guys, I'm not logging from the root account. I don't know the root password. I'm logging with the Chris account. But as soon as you log in, all right, you will be landed to the root account. See here where you are. In the top, you can see where you landed in the root account. What ID you have? 0. Until now, all right, Chris don't have a power to create a new user, but now I can create. Till now, Chris user don't have power to see the set of file, but now we can see we can set a file. So it's so powerful thing. Okay, so again, guys, what I'm trying to tell you, right? So this demonstration haven't show you just to promote you for the hacking. Is not like this. This demonstration I show you to explain you the code concepts actually, because there's a myth in the market. A lot of guys think, lot of guys think, okay, in Linux, root is the only user called admin. But here I can show you, I created Chris with the user ID 0. Now Chris is also work as a root user, as a root power. A lot of guys say in the Linux system, only one account you can create as a root, right? A root. But here I create two accounts that work as a root. One is root name, or one is Chris. A lot of guys say you can't change the name of the root, but here I change the name Chris. So I can remove the first line over here. Technically it look like this. The name change. So let me save this file, and if I again log in to Chris, sorry, see here. Now I log in with Chris because I remove the root account in the top, but ID is what? 0. Or because ID is 0, again they have unlimited power. See here. So no, a lot of guys say in the root we can't change the root password. So there's a lot of myth in the Linux world or Linux technological world, right? That a lot of guys think we can't change. Uh, Even though I don't think so, we can log in with the root account now because I removed the account. Okay, because the session is going on. Otherwise, I can't able to log in. So let me again reset the things, right? So I show you guys, you can rename the name, you can create multiple admin user, and plus multiple user they can associate to one single ID. So there's a lot of myth available in the market that I want to show you. It is a myth. We can do whatever we want. Okay, only thing is if you know this internal files, plus you should know, you should think out of the box, right? Because in all document I'm giving guarantee, in any of the document, everybody say this is user ID, same I am also saying this is user ID. But what can you do, figure out from the user ID, what new way you can think and you can get a setup with user ID. That's what I'm going to explain. So no, you can't see this concept anywhere in the world, right? That's, I'm just giving the guarantee to you. Okay, so the third field is about the user ID. So Chris is first is the name, second the password, link to the shadow file. So we will also discuss guys shadow file in very detail. I require a one class also in shadow file, and then this is the user ID you have. Okay, I explain you the meaning of the user ID. Next is group ID. So guys, today has been long actually, so it take a lot of discussion today. So I just want to conclude today. But before I conclude, guys, I want to explain you one more thing. I don't want you guys take a wrong conclusion here. A lot of guys think, right, it's so simple to break the system. So why it is known as Linux is very secure. So technically, guys, first of all, a lot of guys doesn't know this concept. Second thing is, okay, even though you know the concept, right? Only this file can be run by the root account only. Chris can't run this file from their account. Why? Because this file anybody can read, but if you want to edit this file, only root has a power to edit. So even though Chris creates this virus, okay, but Chris won't have a power to edit this file. So only root can edit. So if Chris send a root account, so first of all, guys, why root account will run this file? Obviously, root is admin of a company. They will always check the script before they run it. So technically, don't conclude that it is so simple to break the system. I just show this demo to make you understood properly understood the concept about the ID. Otherwise, in the real world, other user can't can create the script, but they don't have a capability or power to run it, because for running this script, you have to edit this file, and edit or update this file only root can do. That's the reason, guys, I run this script from the root account. Okay, but it's a very powerful concept. Maybe if somehow if you get a privilege sometime we can do it, or maybe you are security guys, so it's always good thing to keep an eye on the IDs, because normally we always keep an eye on the password. But hacker are smart, right? They never think much about the password, because they want to access the system, so they try to do some cell exploit in this kind of attacks. So you have to keep an eye on those attacks also. Okay, so that's all, guys, for today. What I'm going to do, I'm going to enable your chat. Okay, any queries if you have, you can ask me. Very basic topic, but very powerful. uh, tons of tons of thing you can do, right? Tons of thing you can do. And this kind of information, again I'm repeating, you can get the information about past w file, you can get the information, the third field is UID, but you can't get the information uh, information about this, how internet work. So Asutosh, in the upcoming class I will explain you the difference between authorization and authentication. Today we'll discuss about authentication. We have some discussion on authorization we will discuss. Yes, Subham, you can give somebody asked me, can you give admin power to the user like root without changing UID? Answer, yes, we can do. There's one program in Linux called sudo, sudo. So we use the sudo, you can do it. How SCD work? SCD guys normally work per line basis. So they work for not column wise operation or row wise operation. Typically, they work like a row wise operation, means they search all line, and whenever they find um, uh, uh, any this pattern, they will update. So that's how it will work. Yes, Pankaj, I also want to take this class daily, but I have multiple assignment, so very occupied. But I always want to take the IIEC RISE class daily. Okay. So guys, I suggest this recording is with you. Initial time, I think 10-15 minute. There's always no audio, but you haven't missed anything. All the major concepts I again repeated or repeat actually. So let's guys see you next day, maybe tomorrow. All right. How to reset the password again with the pass wd command, Priya, you can use. So one, if you want to set the password or if you want to reset the password, you can use pass wd command and then the username. This is the way you can do it. So that's all, guys. Yes, Rudesh, in the examination, they will ask you to break the root password. I will show you in the upcoming class how to do or reset the root password. We will discuss. Yes, Ritesh, you can use some social engineering. That's what, after creating this ID, this virus program, you can do some social engineering technique to to do the things. Or also, I'll definitely try. PAM is one of my favorite topic. Normally, if you go for like 415 level of training, RSCA level training, there we discuss the PAM. Even though there also they discuss very little bit about the PAM, but yeah, but when I take those training, I discuss them much. But I'll try. I take one separate batch on the PAM is possible to discuss about it. So that's all, guys, for today. Let's see. Tomorrow, guys, we might take the class because tomorrow is Sunday, but maybe from Monday onwards, we will again continue with this class. So I suggest this topic is not complete. Tons of things we have in the user ad. We're going to discuss here how to change the permission of NFS sharing. Kaushal, I think in the NFS I have talked about. I don't know which type of permissions you're talking about, but in the file we have RO or RW. We have permission called IP address. But if you're talking about a folder permission, so we can use cs mode command. And so in upcoming class, I will going to discuss much about um, much about permission like cs mode in very detail. Okay. So tomorrow, guys, Saturday, I believe tomorrow is no class. So next class would be on Monday. We'll continue, guys, from Monday. Bye. Take care and see you.